Mojacs get a win and a loss over the weekend. Dan Kearns, The Standard. Scugog. The Port Perry Mojacs were able to get a split in their most recent weekend action. The Mojacs started the weekend with a game against the Uxbridge Bruins in Uxbridge on Friday, December 10th. However, nearly 4 minutes into the game, the Bruins had already scored twice, putting the Mojacs behind 2-0. But with only 5 seconds remaining in the first period, Jacob Sharp scored, cutting the deficit in half. Nearly 19 minutes into the second period, the Bruins got their 2-goal lead back, and Port Perry trailed 3-1, heading into the intermission. The Bruins added 2 more goals in the third period, and the Mojacs lost by a final score of 5-1. Port Perry played a much more defensive against the Lakefield Chiefs at Scugog Arena on Sunday, December 12th. Despite outshooting Lakefield 28-27 through 40 minutes of play, there were no goals scored until the final period of the game. Over 11 minutes into the third period, with the Mojacs on the power play, Nick Shokrev Serpentjak scored what would later be the game-winning goal for the Mojacs. Goaltender Gavin Bratt stopped all 45 shots he faced to get the 1-0 shutout win. Gavin Bratt's been playing fantastic. He made some huge saves today. In pretty much every game he makes some big saves for us. He keeps us in games. We can't be happier with what he's doing, Mojacs head coach Kyle Adams said after the game. One-timers. The Mojacs will face the Georgina Ice at the Georgina Ice Palace this Friday, December 17th at 7:30 p.m. Port Perry's next home game at Scugog Arena is Sunday, December 19th at 2:25 p.m. They will face the Uxbridge Bruins. The Mojacs finish their pre-Christmas schedule in Clarington on Thursday, December 23rd. Puck drop for that game is 7:20 p.m.
Brock supports grant application to help restore historic Sunderland Cenotaph. Dan Kearns, local journalism initiative reporter for The Standard. Brock. The Township of Brock is supporting a grant application from the Sunderland Historical Society, which is looking to clean and restore the Sunderland Cenotaph. At a meeting on Monday, December 13th, Larry Doble came to the council to discuss an opportunity to get funding to help restore this community monument. The cenotaph in Sunderland was built in 1922, so next year is its 100th anniversary. There is a legacy grant from the federal government for any anniversaries of 100 years or more. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to restore, maybe clean up, and do some work on the cenotaph, he explained. Mr. Doble added, it would be good to have the cenotaph in tip-top condition for its 100th anniversary. He requested the township to provide a letter stating this cenotaph project would be the only grant the Sunderland community would be applying for in 2022. The good news is, you're not really asking the township for any funding, Regional Councillor Ted Smith said following the presentation. Ward 5 Councillor Lynn Campbell made a motion to have the township provide the requested letter. Councillor Campbell described the cenotaph work as a really worthy project. The motion was later approved by the council. Academy Theatre rebrands following substantial donation. Dan Kearns, local journalism initiative reporter for The Standard. Kawartha Lakes. Lindsay's Academy Theatre is rebranding following a large donation from a development company. On Tuesday, December 7th, it was announced the theatre would be renamed the Flato FLATO Academy Theatre Lindsay, following a donation commitment of $1.37 million over 15 years from Flato Developments. Flato President Shakir Ramatalla explained to The Standard why the company decided to invest in this local theatre. At Flato, we believe in working with the communities where we build. We believe in giving back to the communities. We don't call ourselves home builders. We call ourselves community builders. Community building is way more than just building lots of homes on a piece of land. You have to go out and support your local hospitals. You have to support local theaters, and anything homeowners will need in the community, he said. In a press release, Academy Theatre Board Chairman Mike Pigott discussed what this donation means to the theatre. The Academy Theatre is more than just a venue. With year-round programming which inspires, educates, and celebrates some of the most talented local and international entertainers, we truly offer something for everyone, he stated. This investment recognizes the social, cultural, and economic benefits of having such an esteemed venue in the community. And we are thrilled to be working with Shakir and his team at Flato. We're excited to see the theater thrive in the years ahead. In a statement, Mayor Andy Letham said, "This donation is important to help the arts and culture sector grow in the community." This exciting news comes at a time when our arts and culture community is struggling to rebound from the pandemic, he said. The long-term investment by Flato will be appreciated by residents across Kawartha Lakes and visitors who frequent the Academy Theatre. It's a great example of community building. However, Mr. Rematala stressed, Flato wouldn't be involved in the day-to-day operations of the theatre. We will have one person on the theatre's board. That person would be like any other board member, providing their opinions and ideas to the board, and then it would be up to the board to decide what they want to do. But we're not going to get involved in the day-to-day business. We're just the well-wishers of the theatre. And, like I informed people in my speech that night, by changing the name of the theatre, the heritage and the history of the theatre are not changing. The way the theatre works is not changing. The staff is not changing.
TLDSB bringing back the semester system in February. Dan Kearns, Local Journalism Initiative reporter for The Standard. Kawartha Lakes. The Trillium Lakelands District School Board, TLDSB, has confirmed their secondary schools will transition to a semester system in February. In a press release sent out on Thursday, December 9th, the school board stated these schools will return to a semestered 4-classes-a-day schedule on February 7th, 2022. The press release also explained the timeline for making the decision. In spring 2021, TLDSB consulted with our public health units and in compliance with the Ministry of Education COVID-19 guidelines, started the 2021 to 2022 school year with a quadmester schedule. On November 18th, Minister of Education Stephen Leachy announced schools could move back into a regular semestered system. When this announcement was made, TLDSB students had already completed one quadmester and had already started quadmester 2. Thus, TLDSB was not in a position to consider moving to a semestered system until February 2022. The final decision was made taking many factors into consideration, including input from students and staff. In a quadmestered system, students studied 2 subjects per day. The idea of starting the year in a quadmestered system was presented to trustees in June. At the time, Education Director Wes Hahn explained why the board decided to go to the quadmester system. In the previous school year, there was a really strong cohorting message from the Ministry of Education, which is why we landed in the octomester. We could not have, I believe, more than 50 to 100 contacts per day. Boards which did move into a quadmester in September had to do the 1 week on, 1 week off, which we weren't really big fans of here. But moving into this year, cohorting has been relaxed from the public health and the ministry perspectives, and we were allowed to move back into a quadmester which allowed 2 subjects per day, he said at the June meeting. At a meeting in late November, Director Hahn said the board was being very thorough, getting as much input as possible before deciding on whether to return the schools to a semestered schedule.
The Standard Podcast was produced by Greenstream Studio for the Standard newspaper.